Babe, I'm live now, so I'm going to be talking. Not going to be to you unless I say something straight like babe. But it's going to be, I'm going to be talking. I have 195 subscribers on my main channel. Oh, and I'm live right now, so good. I can see if I'm live or not. Good to know. For this story time is going to be, I'm going to be playing Asphalt. It's an easy game to just play and talk while doing. Good to know down there. But let me... Oh, okay, so if I turn my screen sideways, it shows up correctly. Good to know. Because I'm using Streamlab OBS. Good to know. Yeah. So, what is up, guys? If you have just joined the dream, nobody has yet, but I'm going to be talking. Rewind back. Currently, I'm going to be playing this. I'm going to be playing Asphalt with Airborne while I'm talking about this. So, just get into it and manage. So basically, this is story time number 1. First one we're going to do. So, like, subscribe. Give ad revenue by the site. So basically, this story time is going to be about the time I almost was murdered. Yes, that's right. I was almost murdered. So basically, I wasn't necessarily a bad kid when I was younger. I was just necessarily, yes, baby. Whatever. Sorry, my girlfriend's on the phone also. I'm making a video, girl. You know I love you. Anyway, I wasn't necessarily a bad kid per se. I was just a rambunctious kid. I didn't do much to inherently be called a bad kid or a delinquent. I did get sent to multiple foster homes when I was younger. That's a different story. I have a couple stories about those. But when I was younger, I got sent to basically it was a residential facility, so if you're in the state of Virginia, you know, you got the residential facility, and you got the juvie above that, just above it. I was in the residential facility because I had anger issues and ADHD, and I couldn't be controlled correctly. It wasn't my fault, I was born that way, but so basically, I got sent there, and in fact, the first few videos I have on this channel are from when I just got out of there. I started this channel when I first got out of it. Well, I didn't start this channel. I do have 1 or 2 videos before that. But most of my videos in the beginning are about the competition when I was stuff like that. You saw me in a weird facility with other people. That was in my group home after that. Fun fact, I can tell people if they feel 42 and that's kind of funny. But it just happened before. So some ways you know that you are really part of the story. When I was younger, I hated people. I didn't fight. I didn't know how to fight at the time. And from years young, I didn't fight. Basically, that's what happened in the story. I had to learn how to fight. So one day, I come back to my room after being in the gym all day playing basketball, shooting hoops, dunking on people, shit like that. Me and my friend, he was tall, I was short, but he used to be like, I would kick off my back and dunk. That's how we bitch. It's funny as hell. So basically, me and him would dunk on people. So basically, that's not part of the story. So basically, I get back from shooting hoops, balling out, and I go back to my room to look for my sterling silver chain with an old cross on it, because my grandmother had just given it to me about a month prior for my birthday, and I didn't want to have it on me when I played basketball so people can't just grab it off my neck, right? It makes sense. You don't want people just snatching your chain. You don't want people just snatching your chain. I go back to my room, go to my hiding spot, which is a very common hiding spot for most people in there, because evidently somebody broke into my room and stole it and had flushed it down the toilet. That was a $400 chain they flushed down the toilet. And I knew who it was. We didn't have beef since I first got there. They called him Chop Chop. I'm not going to give the real name of the person because I don't want him to get demonetized or anything. You know, I'm not getting any money off these videos right now anyway. But we called him Chop Chop, so we're going to call him Chop Chop in this video, or Chop for short. Anybody who was in the facility knows who this was because they were there. They know who it was, and they saw the fight. So nobody else would know who this is, so I can't get in trouble because that's a very common name for people who are short and Hispanic. I'm not saying that it's Hispanic only, but a lot of people get called Chop Chop for various reasons. Maybe a criminal gets called Chop Chop because they chop up bodies. But basically, he had flushed down the toilet, and at this point, I was just straight done with this bullshit, you know? So I go up to him and I say, "Yo, did you flush my shit down the toilet?" He's like, "Fuck yeah," and he starts laughing. Like, if you've ever seen those old Asian type cartoons that were like, had the snickering, like that weird snickering stuff that like old Asian cartoons have with the villain. He did that. Like, he legit did that shit. So I'm just thinking like, well, it's not fun. That's $400 down the fucking drain. This is like a facility. They can't just call fun. Like, here we dropped a $400 chain down the toilet. No, you gotta like literally take apart the entire thing to get it if you really wanted to. But they just wouldn't do that type of shit. That would take days to do. So I couldn't get that shit back, sadly. He also, come to find out, which threw me over the edge, is I'm an avid reader. And he took every book I had and put it into the washing machine without anybody noticing, and washed alone with my books. Just my books, like no clothes, no nothing, just books. And it was like about $150 worth of books, because I was like the library of the fucking wing. The thing you gotta know about these facilities is a lot of times they're separated into wings. There was 4 main wings. 3 for the people like us who had problems with other people and because of problems with behavior. And then 1 wing which is for people who had mental disabilities, like mental retarded people who committed crimes, normally sex offenders. Sorry. But normally they were like sex offenders who are mentally retarded. And so that's a thing. And so, yeah, basically, you there? Yeah, why did I just get a video call from you, but then when I tap it, it says it's from Elena Cabello. No, like literally, I just got like an Instagram notification that says, you know, gotta love Bree, and it's calling me. And I tap it and it takes me to Elena's Instagram's thing. When I don't think she even has Instagram. Does she? I don't know. But anyway, back to me. What? No, I'm fine. So basically, back to my story time is, the 4th wing, nobody was allowed to go on it, because it was literally, mentally retarded people, for lack of a better word, who had committed crimes, mainly sex offenders, like sex offenders, rapists, molesters, and stuff like that. But those were the mentally retarded kids, and that part of that. But that's what you gotta know about this thing, is like a bunch of kids have horrible problems. So I'm on, at this time I was transferred to the older kids wing, which is, they called, Oak? No, that was Elm. That one was called Elm, and then there's 1 girls wing, because the old one, Oak, yeah? There's one, so it was cut into fourths, the building, basically. 4 wings, but one of the 4 wings, incoming call from Elena Cabello. That's you, okay. That's you when you're getting a call from her. You're getting a call from Elena, okay? Shut up. Anyway, back to my story time. Whatever. So basically, it was cut into 4. slice, one of his balls cut in half because there was two, Magnolia and which we just shortened to Mag, and the other one was like a flower name for it. But those are the girls' wings. And then there was Oak, which was cut into two sides of Oak, which was Oak and something else, and that was for the retard rapists. And then there was Willow, which was the younger kid, and Elm, the older kid. I was the older kid halfway through it because I was acting better, and we didn't have that much space as was on Willow. There were so many younger kids there. So me and Chop gets transferred to that unit just because we are old enough to be on that unit. They just didn't have space when we first came. And that's when the problem started, because we were like 2 doors down from each other. And basically, we just got into it. We weren't compatible, we weren't friends or anything, we couldn't be friends. Just because he had it out to me to jump. And basically, I hated him. So after that, I just stayed to myself, but he loved that stuff. So I went up to him and was like, man, we can't keep doing this shit. I'm gonna have to fight you. And just like, go ahead, try. And he throws a punch. I matrix this shit because he's short. I'm a little bit taller than him. So really, it's easy to dodge people from short people because they can't throw as fast punches unless they're like trained. This kid wasn't trained. He had to be like 12 or 13 at the time. Not like 15 at the time. So there's an age gap, and he doesn't know how to fight, and I had just know how to fight because I had to defend myself in this place. And I just start wailing on him. I wrap one arm around his back and latch into his side, making him bleed because I had longer fingernails at the time because they didn't give us nail clippers. Like every 4 or 5 weeks they would let us clip our nails in front of people. So I was like, fuck that. And I had claws basically, and I fucking made him bleed in the side while latching on him. He couldn't move, and I used to use my right arm. I latched with my left, and I used my right arm because that's my dominant side to just start wailing into his stomach. And I started going at him, hitting him in the stomach, he's coughing up blood and shit, and then he finally gets away from me, bleeding out of his side because I clawed into his side with my long-ass fingernail. And I gotta admit that wasn't a good move, but he's smaller and he flushed my shit. I was in a fit of rage. I probably could have handled it better, but I didn't feel like it. Fuck that shit, he's an idiot anyway. Everybody hated him because he thought he was so high and mighty. Anyway, when he gets away, he basically tries to sumo jump on me, by jumping off the back of a couch he had there and try to latch onto my back. I turn around and punch him, give him an uppercut while he's in the air. He goes flying back over the couch because if you uppercut a person who's 4 foot even, I think he's actually 3'10" at the time, and he's in half like 3 feet in the air because he jumped off of the couch. What do you expect? He's gonna do a fucking backflip in the air and land on his face on the other side of the couch. So he lands face first into the couch, right? And so I jump over the couch, I can vault over that thing, don't even touch the couch, just jump over that bitch, get him on the ground and start wailing on him again. And then all these staff were just like, let this shit happen, he deserves this shit, you know? Like, nobody was trying to intervene or anything for another 20 minutes. So I'm wailing on him for 20 minutes, he goes to the hospital, gets discharged after he gets, bandaged up and he's okay, because I didn't really wail on him enough to make him lose enough blood to make it life-threatening. He lost a lot of blood, yes, but not enough to make it life-threatening. So basically, after that, me and him, it seemed between, I got the vibe that me and him were cool because he didn't really bother to talk to me or try to get back until 2 days later. That he is like, yo, I'm sorry for flushing your necklace and washing your things, but he has one hand behind your back, and you know something's up if he got one hand behind his back while he's apologizing, and it was the dominant hand, so you know something's definitely up. Nobody puts their dominant hand behind their back when they're talking and apologizing. And out of nowhere, he pulls out this bolt about 6 to 7 inches long, like 2 inches thick, sharpened at the end. Like, they use these bolts to bolt the bed into the wall. And they use like 6 of these bolts at a time, and they can hold up to 150 pounds at a time from just one tip of the point. Like, the entire thing could hold like a ton. Like, it's a fucking strong ass bolt that they use into the wall to keep these things. But he had yanked his ball on his bed out of the wall and took one of those bolts and sharpened that shit, because like these walls were like sandpaper, so you could easily sharpen shit. But he sharpened this metal bolt and tried to stab it into the side of my head. Full force inside my head, and it goes about 2 centimeters in. As I grab it and yank it out and toss it onto the ground in front of the staff, and wail on his ass again and again and again and again, and put him into a fucking 3-day coma. Because nobody's gonna threaten my life. And then after that, he gets out of the coma and he tries to press charges on me, but in turn, I press charges on him which drops his charges, because my charges are more substantial. 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, and 1 count of theft and property damage. And he gets charged. He goes to juvie from a residential facility. He goes to juvie, and he's still in there to this day. Here I am, 18 years old, and we were 15 at that time. 3 years later, he's still in juvie to this day. Probably in some sort of Mexican juvie gang, I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's the end of that story time, because really there's nothing that happens with that kid after that. Because like he's in juvie, he's away from me, and his ass is beat. So basically there's nothing to say after that. Like I beat his ass and that's it. There's nothing to do. And everybody was cheering me on after I fucking beat his ass. Because he acted like he was so high and might be putting himself on the pedestal when he stands at 3'10". And funny thing is, one time when he said I fucked your mama, I said to him, well, my mama... Yeah? Yeah. Well, he's short as fuck. I was 5'1.5". I was 5'1.5" at the time, and I stood like a fucking Twin Towers over him, like he's the fucking president of the United States standing on the ground in front of the fucking Twin Towers. That's what it felt like. Okay, he was short. At most, he was like 4'2" at most. Okay, I was like 5'1" at the time. So, and I'm 5'9", 5'10.5" now. Just was to show 3 years isn't that long. Actually, I think I was about 13 at the time he was only like 12. I'm not sure. But, like, I towered over this guy, right? So one day, he comes up to me. This is the second story time, but, like, I'm putting it in the video because it's not the same guy. I got a couple more I can tell on different videos. If you guys like it, put a like and a comment down below, let me know. But basically, here he is, just saying, I fucked your mom. And I look at him and say, my mom's a stripper in Michigan, I bet you did. And he's like, oh wow, well who do you live with? And I'm just like, none of your business. And he's just like, I fucked your grandma and I fucked your auntie, because he knows my aunt comes up and visits me all the fucking time at the time. My aunt was such a nice lady. But Mr. Shea, he was a guy who worked there, we called him Mr. Shea, his real name probably wasn't Shea. But he used a lot of shea butter, like shea butter lotion, so we called him Mr. Shea. And he says that Mr. Shea had a crush, basically, on my fucking aunt, so that was funny. I almost had them get together, that was kind of cool. But he looks at me and says, well, I fucked your auntie. Mr. Shea yells from the side of him, like, no, you didn't, that was me. And I'm just like, yeah, I bet it was Mr. Shea. But he's just like, and I say, that's a bold claim from a man of your stature. And everybody's like, what did he just say? Because he never joked about a guy's height, you know? Like, that's a soft topic, you know? But he's a short guy, heavy set short guy. Like, he weighed almost 200 pounds. He weighed 150 pounds, like 3'10", 4'2"-ish. Like, the fuck? He was fat, you know? But he could throw his weight around at least. Like, if you're fat, you bet... What? Nothing's nice to you. Anyway, like, if you're that short but that fat, you gotta learn to throw your weight around if you're in a fight. Like, that's how it goes. But he could barely throw his weight around, so it wasn't really that word. But I'm like, that's a bold claim for a man of your stature. And like, the fuck did you say to me, boy? And he says boy to me, standing taller than him, older than him. And I'm just like, that's a bold claim for a man of your stature. Like, I repeated that shit louder. And he's like, I then goes to kick me in the shin. I grab his leg, because I took Taekwondo when I was like fucking 7 till I was fucking 10, so that's a thing. And flip him, just like grab his leg and like pull it up, so like he gets swept off of the other leg while I'm pulling him up, the bottom half of him up, and he goes and kicks my ground, and I just walk away. He goes to throw a punch, hits me in the back of the head, but it's like nothing because he doesn't know how to fucking punch, and he's shorter, so half of his strength is going into getting a tie him off that. To hit me in the face. But he hits me in the back of the head, and I'm just like, the fuck did you just do? And I wail on him again. Yeah. Just because he's short, you can't, like, let a guy shorter than you beat your ass. Like, that's not how that shit goes. Like, I admit, he did beat my ass a lot before I learned how to fight. But after a certain point, when he got the Elm unit from Willow, he didn't beat my ass again. And that was only like a month into me being there. So, there's more stories about that I can share, and there's more stories about when I was locked up, and there's more stories about foster care and my residential facility, and stuff like that I can tell. But that's going to be it for this video. If you did like this, like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to hear, and ask if I have any stories about certain topics that you want to hear, like skateboarding, BMXing, getting locked up, shit like that, random shit. If I have any stories, I will definitely share. I am an open book when it comes to this shit, because everybody can just look it up, basically, if they really wanted to. But they would have to have the right credentials to get into it, and the right credentials as in, like, FBI or something, like juvenile court system, because it's all locked and sealed away. Like, it's not on my record anymore, because I'm over 18 now, and they can't keep that stuff from the juvie unless you got charged as an adult or something. And I wasn't in juvie anyway, it was a residential one-step juvie. So anyway, none of it's on my record, but if you can open sealed files because you like fucking juvenile resources or something, you can probably find it. Anyway, that's I'm not giving you my full name, so you can't find it anyway. But if you have any questions or comments or want to hear certain stories or something, comment down below and I'll definitely share. Thank you for joining me for this stupidity of a story, and see you guys in the next video, because it's about